everybody, to another episode of SLC Punkcast Live and Wired. And as I said last week, I will have attended multiple shows and have a lot to talk about them. So without further ado, let's just get right into the pit. Tales from the Pit. So yeah, the first one was the one I was looking forward to the most. It was the Obituary 35-year anniversary of Cause of Death World Tour. Well, maybe it was national, but with Nails, Terror, and Spirit World, and Pest Control. And I was looking forward to that show, and I moshed myself so fucking stupid. Now, here's the thing. After the show, I got an email from Ticketmaster, and they were like, care to leave a review about the show? And I was like, okay, why not? So I basically wrote an entire review of the show and left it on their little forum, on their little message board, whatever they're using. And I decided, you know what? I'm just going to read this. I'm just going to read this for this week's episode. Because the way that I was writing everything, it brought me back to when I was writing show reviews for Slug magazine. And made me feel like I was back in the zone. So I decided, you know what? Why not? I think I'll just read off my review, much as like how I do reading off of my notes that I wrote for SLC Punkcast and the regular episodes. Only you can't see me staring down at my notebook, and this time I'm staring down at my phone. Usually I'm looking at this thing for when I'm reading off the list of the shows that are coming through. So anyway, without further ado, here is my review on the show with Obituary, Nails, Terror, Spirit World, and Pest Control. Holy shit. Now, I had a rough week, and I knew that I was going to mosh myself stupid at this show, and the bands certainly delivered on inciting that force in my reptilian brain to plunge myself into certain death. Pest Control warmed us up properly with some classic Teutonic crossover. They're pretty big, they got pretty big draw over in their native Britain. And the real cowboys from hell in Spirit World, adorned with their rhinestone-decorated nude suits, did not disappoint with their satanic groove metal crossover hybrid sound. They played a short set, but it was nothing but bangers. They even played my two favorite new songs from their album, Hell Dorado. That was Oblivion and No Vacancy in Heaven. And I lost my shit during those songs. They really fucking killed it. And before the kings of West Coast hardcore terror took the stage, I told myself I wouldn't throw down unless they played my favorite song. And what did they do? Open with it, of course. You bet your goddamn ass I went nuts. Always against the odds. One with the underdogs. It's not my favorite song, but it's one of my favorites. I threw down so fucking hard. Anyway, so Scott Vogel, such a demanding presence on stage, and in a room full of hardcore kids and metalheads who are infamous for never getting along, he told the crowd to get rowdy, but to not start any fights. Basically, we're here to have a good time, and they listened. And he also called to notice that because there was a barricade separating the crowd from the stage, they wouldn't be able to do traditional stage dives. However, he countered that by insisting that they do what he called reverse stage dives. Basically, get your friends up there and have them come up to the stage. So basically, he just told us to crowd surf. Whatever, it works. And then Nails. God, I fucking love Nails. And this was my first time seeing them. I love how absolutely rowdy and chaotic their sound is, and all the time Todd Jones is just so composed. He didn't move around. He didn't move around much. His picking hand was strumming the strings so elegantly, despite projecting such bludgeoning riffs, and barely said a word between songs, aside from announcing what the next one would be. But the crowd sure had a reaction, and that was that was in stark contrast. Mind your head. And also, seeing how Jones is the original guitarist of Terror, I was hoping beyond hope that he'd join them on stage during their set and play something from the Lowest of the Low EP. It didn't happen, but it would have been cool. Just thinking, I suppose. Just wishful thinking, I should say. Terror, they played one with the Underdogs, but another few of my favorites that they played, they did classics like Overcome, and they did Keep Your Mouth Shut, and of course they closed the set out with Keepers of the Faith, and I got pretty fucking ignorant during that song. So, yeah, it was a great show so far. Really great show. And then, Obituary. Oh my goddamn, what can you say about these death metal titans that hasn't already been said? Almost 40 years of experience under their belts, 35 of which have been met with praise for their seminal album, the one of which this entire tour is based around, the obscenely heavy Cause of Death. They opened their set with the expected redneck stomp and followed it with a couple of more contemporary deep cuts. One of which is my favorite from their last album, Dying of Everything. Right Place, Wrong Time. The Wrong Place, Wrong Time. Whatever, it's just called Wrong Time. Yeah. Then there was a lull as the haunting opening sounds of Cause of Death flooded the venue. And then the backdrop changed from one of their logo to the one with the deep blue, cloudy sky, the tree full of skulls, and that blood red eye right in the center looking directly at you. And then that banner dropped at the same time as the opening riffs to Infected. Oh God, yes. And everyone was moving. Every fucking body in that place was moving. No matter how little movement there was. It was. They continued on playing the album songs. Not all of them, mind you. They didn't get to Memories Remain, and they didn't play Jesus. Can't remember. But I know they didn't at least play that one. But they also didn't play them in order. But the pits went fucking crazy. Circle pits, push pits, slam pits, and plenty of crowd surfing. And who could resist hearing such classics as Body Bag and their cover of Circle of the Tyrants? They are sure to get the fans riled up, and underrated cuts like Dying and Cause of Death they sure pleased the diehards. And they even combined Chopped in Half with Turned Inside Out, which concluded that portion of the set. Anyway, they walked off the stage, got encored, of course, and then they came back out and finished the show with I'm in Pain, and the one that started it all, Slowly We Rot. The best way to end a show like this is by going back all the way to the beginning. This was one heavy as fuck show. And I told myself prior to my attendance, and I also said something similar to this on my Instagram post for Live and Wired last week. At the end of the night, I'll hopefully be nothing more than an obituary. So you better grab those coffin nails. My ghost will raise so much terror for you that you'll need more than pest control to make me cross over into the spirit world. Success. Except for the obituary part. That hasn't been written yet. I am now speaking to you from beyond the grave. Yes, we managed that. It's pretty amazing. Okay, so that was there we go. There is my tale of obituary. Like, tales from the crypt indeed. But what else was there? Well, on the 3rd, I was part of the first ever WORT Tour 2025, brought to you by Bewilder Brewing. My band Apathetics played on that. It was a daytime festival, and we had it started up at 2 p.m. and ended around 7-ish, and we were the last band playing. All of us in the middle of a parking lot in the scorching hot sun, and we were playing with some really great bands. We're playing with American Humor. We were playing with my friends in Frick, and my other friends of Murphy and the Giant, and Pirates of the Promised Land. That was my first time seeing those guys, and they were fun too. But the stage setup, it wasn't a stage. We were playing on the same level as everyone else, but the setup was weird. It was really weird. It was like you had the drums over on this side, and then you would have guitar and bass just kind of going around the line. It was set up like you saw a jazz band. How you have like a jazz band, only it was on the opposite side here. You have like your bass and drums, and then the brass and woodwinds and all other noted instruments, just all taking up, everything center stage left. So that was kind of a strange setup, and it's like, okay, well, we'll manage. But the sound guy really didn't know what he was doing. He really didn't know. My friend Matt was telling me, make sure the sound guy makes you sound good. I'm thinking, okay, I'll make sure. But anyway, how were the bands? I mean, we got there in time to see Pirates of the Promised Land finishing up their set. They sounded awesome. And Frick played a great set. And this is my first time seeing Frick with my boy Ethan on bass. So it was awesome seeing him play a show. And I even told him it's nice to be sharing a bill it's nice for us to be sharing a bill when we're not even in the same band. If you guys don't know it, Ethan is my guitarist for Anonymous. So, yeah, we played shows together before because, we're in the same band. Yeah, so it was great seeing him perform from the audience instead of out of my fucking peripherals. It was a good time. And they even played, there was a little kid there. This little kid had to be no more than maybe 3 years old. And she's like bouncing up and down and just everyone and being met with smiles. And, why can't I remember the singer's name? The singer for Frick. Shit, I'm blanking on his name right now, but that's okay. He was admiring this little kid and saying like, hey, here's one that you may know. And then they started playing their version of the alphabet song. And it's like, this is the motherfucking alphabet. Or my motherfucking ABC's. Point is he censored out the word fucking. So probably because there was a kid there. And I even called notice of that when I was on when it was my turn to play. I was doing my usual, give it up for all the bands that played, give it up for American Humor. They're all American, we're still waiting for the humor. And then I said, and Frick, the band that is so G-rated, they actually censored the fucking alphabet song. Yeah, nice little verbal jabs, they're always fun at shows. So anyway, but Frick was great. They were saying like, we have a 39 song set. We got 30 more to go. And then they just kept playing. And people are thinking, God damn, I think they actually do have 40 songs. They played so much because their songs are incredibly short, folks. They're incredibly short. They average about like maybe 90 seconds. They have a whole new album that's recorded. They recorded it in a day. That just goes to show how much turnaround time there is for a new Frick release. And yeah, that reminds me. I gotta find out when that is coming out so I can plug it on here. Well, not on here, but on the Punkcast nonetheless. So anyway, American Humor, they took the stage next, and they were really good. American Humor, they sounded great. This was my second time seeing them. The first time of which was Punks and Punchlines last October, where they were doing the costume contest, and one of them was dressed up as a hot dog. Their drummer was dressed up in nothing but just like a t-shirt with the tuxedo printed on it. And their other member was dressed up as someone in the audience was dressed up as a hot dog. It was their singer, their guitarist on stage who was dressed up as Nacho Libre. That was a fun time. But anyway, they did very good here. I love their music. I think they sounded great. Then it came us, and we sounded like ass. Now, the thing is, the sound guy, I don't think he knew what the hell he was doing. I don't know, because I don't know how it sounded out in the audience, but to us, it sounded really weird. I could only hear Ben's drums. I could hear part of Josh's guitar, and I could only hear, I don't know, I could barely hear the leads that Tyler was putting out. I could hear his vocals just fine. Like, the vocals were coming in crisp. And I was just thinking, you know what, it's fine, I'm the bassist, I know the songs, I just have to know how fast we are going. All I have to do is really listen to the drums. And I can hear the guitar just enough for, like, the cues to come in. So, yeah, the sound was just fucking horrendous. And by this point, everyone was dealing with heat fatigue. People had, like, dispersed a little bit, got inside the bar, and cooled off, get some beers, get some food, and whatnot. And, yeah, then I just sort of, like, went for broke. I'm doing all my little banter with the crowd and just saying, hey, thanks for coming, thanks for sticking around, blah, 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 blah. And Ben was still, he's still struggling with some new medications with the MS, with his MS. He's got his new medications. I got these steroids that he's taken. And he was able to play through most of the set. But we have my boy Jay, my friend and also fellow drummer, who is in Anonymous right now. He came up to watch the show, but Josh also said, can we just keep you up here as so you can tag in if Ben doesn't feel up to it given his condition? I said, yeah, totally. I'll be fine. I'm totally okay doing that. And Ben made it through most of the show. He made it right up to the last song. And, well, we were at the last two songs, and Ben said, I think I only got one more in me. And we could tell Ben was struggling. I could hear that some of the songs he was playing a little faster, some were a little slower. It was just sort of hard for him. Nah, not sort of, very. It was very hard for him. But yeah, we hit the last two songs, one of which was a new song that we have called Mr. Freeze, and then our classic Burnout Generation. And Ben said, I think I can only do Burnout at this point. Or, no, he said he could do one more, and they're saying, like, maybe we'll do Burnout just to finish up with the song everyone knows. And I'm saying, well, hold on. What if, Ben, you do the new song, and then if you got it in you, and then Jay will come up and do Burnout. And that's exactly what we did. So we played the new song, Mr. Freeze, and that was our first time playing it, too. Wasn't bad. At least I think it wasn't bad. I mean, we played it all right. I don't know how it sounded, but whatever. Then there was the... God, what was the next one? Yeah, and then Ben tagged out. Jay took his place. And then we finished the set with Burnout Generation. Anyway, the show itself was kind of... it was what it was. Wasn't my favorite show that we played. In fact, I think it's pretty low on the list of ranking the best shows that Apathetics had played. Pretty close to the bottom, if not the bottom. I think the one time we played at Black Lung Society in their old location, which was also with Jay because Ben was out for a while. His new medication rendered his immune system completely useless, and he had to stay isolated from the rest of the world for a good 2, almost 3 months. Yeah, that one was that's mostly just because the sound was shitty in that venue. It was just shitty, but whatever. No point looking that far in the past, not at this juncture. Let's just keep looking at the shows that were happening last week. Later that night, May 3rd, I was going to go see I Hate God playing at Aces, but I was so incredibly fatigued. I could not do it. I just could not. I was worn out socially. I was worn out physically. And I just had to bite the bullet and say, I'm going to miss I Hate God this time. Which is okay. I have seen them 3 times at this point. 3 times. And the last 2 times were the best times that I had seen them. Especially the one where they were doing their Take As Needed for Pain 25th anniversary show where they played that whole album, and they played with Goat Horror and Cancer Christ and Last. That was the best show that I had ever seen at Aces, hands down. Hands down, it's my favorite. It is my absolute favorite. Everything about that show was fucking amazing. So yeah, I can die happy knowing that I've at least seen I Hate God at that point in their careers, in my life, whatever. So I missed out on that show. But on Monday, I went back to Aces to go see Starvin' Wolves. I was so stoked to see Starvin' Wolves. And the Lucha Project had their whole ring set up in the crowd area right up next to the stage. And they were doing their act. It was a lot of fun. I really love watching the Luchador Project, or just the Lucha Project, because they are just so funny. It's wrestling. They always pronounce it wrestling. It's always wrestling. Just how it's so over the top, so funny, and people are just like getting egged on to cheer or jeer. It's such a great time. I had a lot of fun with the Lucha Project. And then we had Thundersack. Now, Thundersack is a one-man band. It's just one guy, and he's just slapping away at his bass, going through like different effects pedals. And it sounds cool. The last time I saw Thundersack was back in the Shred Shed in 2013. That's how long ago it was. So this was a nice little blast from the past, and he was all right. He was all right. Like it's cool watching his technique and just like hearing how he can just slap and tap away at that fucking bass, and just like, it was cool, but it does run pretty old. It gets pretty old after a while. And yeah, just the weird stuff he's saying in between is, I don't know. I don't really know what to make of Thundersack at this point, but whatever. And then there was Satan himself. And Satan himself, he was, he does what he does. He's got his own thing going, dresses up as the little devil, and plays these little Jack Black style joke acoustic songs. And he was playing by himself up on the stage, and it seemed like most people were just caught up in conversation with themselves, and or just more focused on their drinks. So not to talk shit on Satan himself, not to talk shit on that guy. It just seemed like it was wrong place, wrong time for him. But then the Starving Wolves came on. This was really funny. They were doing their act. The last two fighters were going on, and the one that everybody hates, the one who everyone doesn't want to win, he actually won. And then David Rodriguez comes out from the side, and he starts going, "Hey, fuck you, man. Fuck you, you're an asshole," like playing into the act. And then he's like, "Oh, does David Rodriguez want some?" And then David gets up into the fucking ring, and then they start doing the fight. It's so funny. They're just slamming each other around. And then there is the rest of Starving Wolves up on the stage, and after Dave Rodriguez arises victorious, he goes over the lines onto the stage. It's like, "What's up? We're Starving Wolves." And then that is how they start their show. I thought that was fucking awesome. I thought it was awesome. And he also said, "Guys, there is a wrestling ring right here. Everybody get up here. Let's slam it down in the fucking ring." So I attended a punk show where we literally moshed in a wrestling ring. Well, I can die saying that. I have officially moshed at a punk show in a pool, and now I have moshed in a fucking wrestling ring. The next one is a bouncy house. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the next step. Moshing in a bouncy house. So that was a great show, and Starving Wolves, they played fucking awesomely. They even did a cover of a Crumb Bum song. I can't remember which one. And I was even looking at their set list, and I saw my two favorite songs from their Fire, Wolf, and Flame, Tooth, Wolf, Flame, the Wolf, the Tooth, the Wolf, whatever. It's three things. It's three things. One of my favorite albums from last year, and I can't even remember their fucking, I can't even remember the title of that album. But I remember the songs. They were going to be, on the set list was Ossuaries and Mixed Blood. And I was so pissed off that they didn't play them. They like skipped a whole section of their set list and just went like into the bottom portion. I go, fuck, that was the next song. That was the next song. I hate you. I love you, but I hate you for doing that. That just, that really sucks. But whatever, you know, it's just how it is. It's just how it is. Starving Wolf still kicked a lot of ass. They were awesome on stage, and Dave has got some of the best stage presence, and I was up there front and center with my friends Tyler and Wyatt and Rich, and Spence was Spence was coming up at times, and my friends Sean, Landon, and Mateo, we were all just slamming each other around in that fucking ring. It was a great time. I am so happy that I managed to bolster enough energy for me to go out on Monday night to basically wrestle people. After a long day of work and a long fucking weekend that preceded that, it was great. It was a great time. I'm so happy that I got to experience that. And yeah, then the next day I wanted to go see the Buzzcocks. I wanted to see Buzzcocks so bad, but again, I had prior obligations, and I couldn't justify shelling out the $40 to basically go see two bands. I know, one of those bands is the Buzzcocks, but buddy, I've seen them for cheaper. Like when it really gets down to it, the last time I saw Buzzcocks when they were opening up for Descendants last year, and yeah, that was about the same price as they were asking for this one show, all in. Might I mention? It was like $40 after the fees and taxes and all that bullshit. So yeah, I didn't get to see Buzzcocks, but you know, I've seen them twice. One of those times was when Pete Shelley was still alive, so I will still hold that as a win. Anyway, but yeah, those are all my tales from the pit. Those 3 shows, there were some pretty fucking hefty shows. But we got a few more to be attending in the next couple of weeks, and we're inching ever so closer to punk rock bowling. But we will be getting to that shortly. Anyway, so here are the shows that are coming out in the local area. First, we have on May 9th, the May-Pocalypse with the Goombats and Restroyer. They will be playing at a bar named Sue, the one in Holiday. That's 3928 South and Highland Drive. It is a free show starting at 9:30. So if you're watching this now, you still have time. You still have time to make plans. Then on the 10th, we will be celebrating my friends Coke and Chloe, well, both of their birthdays. And that's going to be at my house, the Poser Palace. And it's a birthday bash, but it will also double as a Punks and Punchlines show. We will have 4 comedians doing 10-minute sets in between the bands. And the bands that will be playing will include Gag Nasty, yeah, pretty damn nasty. Gag Nancy, the Fancy Lads, and the Ulteriors. We actually just added those guys because unfortunately Blushing had to drop. So yes, you win some, lose some. And we will also have Bruce Lee and the Street Fighters. So some of these guys are making their debut appearance at the Poser Palace. And I'm pretty stoked for it. Pretty stoked we'll be having a good lineup. Oh, wait a minute, I think Fancy Lads is off. Nope, they still are. Yeah, I'm basically networking while I'm doing this. But no, Fancy Lads is still on. And those 4 comedians whose names shall remain anonymous because I don't know who they are. Anyway, Poser Palace, 6 p.m. It's either $5 or $10. Maybe pay what you can. I don't know. Just bring 10 to be safe. Who knows? Anyway, but also on the 10th, if you're not going to be at my house, you probably have somewhere better to be. I know that I would rather be at this show personally, but I'll explain why in a minute. It'll be All Systems Fail, Never Don'ts, Higher Law, The Avenues, and Peter, who will all be playing at the Beehive. And I am so pissed that I can't go to this show because I love All Systems Fail and I love Higher Law. I am really happy that those guys are still playing shows. And I love that the Never Don'ts are up and running officially. And I would love to see them again. But the Avenues, I haven't seen the Avenues in years. Years. The last time I think the Avenues, at least when I saw them play, was at the Underground. The Underground that was at Downtown Music. And that has been shut down since fucking 2018, about? Yeah, so the Avenues, they've been on sort of a lull. They have played a few shows here and there, but I haven't seen them in a long-ass time. So I'm really bummed I'll be missing the Avenues that night because, well, I'm needed at the house. I gotta help with the show. So what can you do? The plight of being a venue operator. But that's okay. I've talked with Casey. Casey, the guitarist of the Avenues. I talked with him and he's saying like, oh, don't worry, we'll be playing a lot more. Okay, good. Play my house. Play my house. I love the Avenues. I miss them. Anyway, but that show at the Beehive, it's going to start at 7 p.m. It's only $7 to enter. And then up north, we got some pretty heavy fucking shit going on up there. We got Dread, we got Aneurysm, we got Hardware, and Indistinguishable Logos. I'm just kidding. That logo actually says Indistinguishable Atrocities, though that would be funny. A band with a logo like that saying Indistinguishable Logos. That'd be a funny way to call them out. But anyway, that's one of my friend's bands. That's Will from Skullfuck. That's one of his various bands that he has. And I haven't heard this one. Well, actually, no, I have heard this one. They played My House. It was a surprise set. And it was basically the set that where he just invited anyone and everyone from the crowd to just come up and take the microphone and yell whatever in the fuck they wanted into it. And yeah, we did. I don't know if they'll do that for this one, but hey, only one way to find out. Anyway, that's up at Black Lung Society. $15 to enter, and it starts at 7 p.m. Then on the 11th, Wormrot. God, that is a great band, and they're finally coming to Salt Lake. And they are coming with No Mas. Last time No Mas was here was when they played with I Hate God. So, hey, what's going around is coming around. Maybe I'll get to this show. I don't know. We'll just have to see. But anyway, also with them will be Oxygen Destroyer, Sacrilegion, and Ribbons. That'll be at Aces High. It is $20 to enter. Starts at 7 p.m. Well, doors are at 7 p.m., but we know when they really start, don't we? And then on May 15th, I will be attempting to attend the Kilby Block Party, just this specific day, because that is when New Order and Devo are playing. I love both of those bands. I don't know the other guys that are playing, Future Islands, Yo La Tengo, Teen Suicide, and Levalor, but come on, it's New Order, and it's fucking Devo. I've seen Devo once, but fuck, I want to see them again. I mean, you see them once. How can you refuse? Devo is going to be fucking awesome. However, I am still debating because, I don't know, $144 for a single night after the fees? It's, oh God. I'm debating it. I'm still debating it. I want to go. See if I can get a hookup, but we'll see. But yeah, that's at the Utah State Fair Park. That starts at 8 p.m. And then on the 17th, we have another birthday show that's also doubling as a benefit show. It is my friend Brandon Cromer's birthday. I don't exactly know how old he's turning. Maybe 28, 26, going on 27. I don't know. Or maybe it's 40. I don't remember exactly how old he's turning, but also, arguably more importantly, it is a benefit show for my friend Tiberius, who in the last year has been struggling with a dislocated shoulder and the surgeries he's been going under to help put it back into place. It has been a fucking horrible time for him, a horrible recovery time. I feel like half the times that I had seen him in the last year, his arm has always been in a sling. So anyway, this benefit show is to help him cover the cost of his extensive medical bills. So that's, if you've been in and out of the hospital as many times as I have and as many times as Brandon has actually, yeah, you know the bitch of having to pay that shit off. So yeah, please come out. It's for a good cause, for a great cause, for a great person. It's going to be, yeah, it'll be awesome. And what's more that makes it awesome is the fact that we have Bloodstar, Sacrilegion, and Acid Hologram, and Rationalist all on this bill. Come on. How else could you miss this show? Why else would you miss this show? Anyway, that's going to be at Aces, $20, and it starts at 8 p.m. Then on the 18th, there is a tribute show, a tribute to Jimmy Germ. That's going to be, let me try this again. May 18th is a tribute show to Jimmy Germ. Who will be playing for Jimmy? Maimed for Life, Dre's Method, All Systems Fail, and Ulteriors. That'll be at Ace's High Saloon. It starts at 8 p.m. I don't know what the asking price is for that one. It's not on the flyer, so as far as I know, it's probably free, but I guess you'll know when you get there. And then on the 21st, Portal to the Goddamn Blood Dimension is returning to Salt Lake City. They will be playing with Nast, Nadezhda, Anxiety. Oh, that's it. And Anxiety. And they will be playing at the Beehive. That is $10 and is 7 p.m. That is going to be part of their tour that will be happening next week. I will be plugging more of that in just a few minutes here. And then on the 22nd, Elephant Rifle, Gatheist, and Gracemaker will be playing at Ace's High Saloon. That is going to be $15 and starts at 7 p.m. And then on the 24th, The Mormons and Don't Trust Anybody, Cudney, and Cargo Cult will be playing at Ace's High Saloon. That is $15 and it will be starting at 8 p.m. I'm sorry to say I won't be there. I won't be there because the 22nd is the day that I leave for Vegas going to PRB. But more on that later. Then on the 25th, the 22nd is when I'll be going down. So I'll miss Gatheist and Elephant Rifle, and I'll also miss the Mormons. Had to leave before the Mormons came to Utah. But anyway, on the 25th, One Step Closer, Bleed, and Football Head, from Hey Arnold, will be playing at Kilby Court. That is going to be $30 roughly, or after the fees and taxes, and it will be starting at 6 p.m. I've seen One Step Closer once, and it was at Kilby Court, and oh, buddy, did it get fucking rowdy. Quite a time to have indeed. One step closer to oblivion. Anyway, but also on the 25th, if you want to go to a quote-unquote safer show, we have The Clue, Gripe, The Idiots, Gonk, and Baghead playing at Oliver Rock. That is going to be a $10 show and starting at 6 p.m. So those are the shows coming up in the Salt Lake metropolitan area in the next couple of weeks. But, like I said, I have a tour to plug right here. My friends in Portal to the Goddamn Blood Dimension. They may not be based in Salt Lake at the moment because their architect, the founder, Clark, has since moved out to Louisiana a few years ago. So they're technically based out of Louisiana, but to me, Portal to the Goddamn Blood Dimension is still a goddamn Salt Lake City band. So I'm gonna plug their tour here. I don't exactly have a lot of information for the upcoming shows, except for the Salt Lake one, obviously, and the one that they'll be playing after that on the 22nd, where they'll be in Boise. And this one I have the flyer for. They will be playing with Throws and Mutilated Circuitry. That's going to be at Rollin' Rocks on 7015 West Fairview Avenue. It's a $10 show, and it's going to be starting at around 7:30 p.m. And yeah, as you can see in the little subtext there, it's a limited capacity, so first come, first served. Yeah. Anyway, the rest of the tour is as follows. On the 23rd, they will be at the Punkpalooza / Mickey Giro's in Moscow, Idaho. I think that's how you say it, Punkpalooza? Because it's definitely not Palace. And then on the 24th, they'll be at the Big Dipper in Spokane, Washington. Then on the 25th, Woodland Theater in Seattle. And then on the 26th, High Water Mark in Portland, Oregon. And on the 27th, the Frogley in Rosebury, Oregon. And then on the 28th, at the Rock-A-Fairy in Medford, Oregon. And then on the 29th, they'll be at the Naked Lounge in Chico, California. Then on the 30th, they'll be in Fresno. Be in Fresno. I don't have the venue for that. Then on the 31st, and this is pretty fucking cool, they'll be playing at Gilman Street in Berkeley. That's pretty fucking cool to be able to play the West Coast equivalent of CBGB that's still standing. So, good on you guys. Way to land that show at 924 Gilman Street. That is awesome. Kind of a cool little bragging right. And then on the 1st, they will be playing at Corrigan's Lost Highway in Reno, Nevada. So, Portal to the Goddamn Blood Dimension, go and check them out. Check out the Goddamn Blood Dimension. It's pretty fucking cool. I like them. I like them a lot. Except for when they did that horrendous Mariah Carey cover set that was at the... That was a punk rock Halloween set. They did a Mariah Carey cover set, and it was awful. It was awful. Anyway, quick update. I actually did have another show in which I have more... of which I have more information. That is their Seattle show. So they will be playing at the Foxglove with the Foxglove. They'll be playing with Foxglove and Get the Yankee, man. And Geist and the Sacred Ensemble. That'll be at the Woodland Theater once again. And starting at 6 p.m., $10, as you can see, a suggested donation. Please give $10 or give what you can. That's what that says to me. So it'll be a good show for all you Seattleites. That's actually not bad. Yeah, I'm going to refer to people who come from Seattle as such. That's my new thing. It's my new thing now. All right. Anyway, yeah, that's what I got for all the shows and the tours. And yeah, me and Dustin will be in Punk Rock Bowling at the end of this month. I will be there from the 22nd to the 20... Is it going to the 25th? 26th, yeah, 26th. I'll be coming back on the 27th. But yeah, I am excited to be at that show. There's a lot of great bands that I want to see. All the headliners, of course. I want to see all those fucking headliners. Peter Hook and The Light and Social Distortion and Cockspar. I'm still incredibly pissed that the Baboon show is not coming this year, but I guess they're just trying to be careful. I mean, they're getting a little tripped out about coming into going through customs into the United States. So yeah, you can take that any which way you want. But however, I am still excited to see Power Trip. I'm excited to see Frank Turner, The Damned, the Addicts, and the Bouncing Souls, and mostly I really want to see Gang of Four. Gang of Four, I am surprised that they are still a band. That is pretty fucking awesome. And the Cockney Rejects. I'm excited to see the Cockney Rejects. And the Co-Defendants, and Civic, and Revolt Chicks, and Bad Nerves. I really like Bad Nerves, and also I'm excited to see Amigo the Devil again, and I'm excited to see Flag again. Flag is always fun, and the Interrupters. I've seen them a million times, and they always put on a good show. So I'm not bummed about that. But Power Trip is going to be interesting because I've seen Power Trip twice. Both times when Riley Gale was their vocalist, R.I.P. So it's going to be a little weird seeing Power Trip with a brand new frontman. It's a little strange, but many bands have been able to continue on without their original lead vocalist. But this isn't just their original, he's their established vocalist. He was the one who was given all the personality and the life into the band. But you've had bands like Iron Maiden. They had an established vocalist for a while, Paul Di'Anno. He was in their first two albums, and then they got Bruce Dickinson. People forget that Bruce Dickinson's not the original singer. Same thing with Rob Halford. He's not the original Judas Priest lead singer. And yeah, Brian Johnson of AC/DC. A lot of people know this one. He's not the original lead singer, but Bon Scott definitely was established. He was established in a lot of AC/DC's arguably best songs. But fuck, AC/DC turned what was a 5-year career into a 50-year career. So yeah. The point is, we don't know what's in the cards for Power Trip at the moment. Maybe they'll continue on and be better than they used to. Ooh. Though that is a pretty high bar to reach, but I mean, what are you going to do when you've made your living as a band for so long? And Power Trip is an established act. They are very well known in multiple camps between the metalheads and thrashers and the hardcore kids alike. People fucking love them. I mean, they're playing punk rock bowling for Christ's sakes, and they're pretty high up on the list. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see that, but if people are just going there and they get to see, we get to hear Firing Squad, Swing of the Axe all over again, and Nightmare Logic, yeah, it's going to be a great time nonetheless. I'm excited for it. So yeah, despite some of these hang-ups, I'm excited for this punk rock bowling this year. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. This is a pretty loaded episode of Live and Wired, especially with the Tales from the Pit portion. But I'm excited to be doing this all the same, and I hope that you guys are excited to be going to the shows in the next couple of weeks. And I think me and Dustin will have to do we'll have to do our own version of Tales from the Pit when talking about Punkcast, because he's going to be there, I'm going to be there. We'll probably we'll be seeing different bands, and we'll probably be excited about certain other bands, and we'll have other things to say about them. We may be watching the same show, but be seeing things in different ways. It'll be interesting. But until the next episode, guys, I am, once again, I've been Eric Norris, and I will be Eric Norris the next week, and the week after that, and the week after that. And so long as I am still on this platform, I will be regaling you all of my tales from the pit and be promoting and plugging all of the shows that are coming out, small or big, big or small, doesn't matter. I will be doing that week in, week out. So until next week, guys, I'm Eric from the SLC Punkcast, Tales from the Pit, Live and Wired. Now moving on to Dustin. He's going to do his portion. Adios.
Thank you, Eric. And now, in no particular order, we go around the world. And we're going to start with our pals in Direct Action. As you can see on this flyer, I've been talking about their shows. They've got one on May 10th at Café Bluff in Heerlen in Netherlands. But then on the 23rd and 24th, they will be in Spain, in Sadavi, in Montese Villarreal. Or maybe that's part of the venue. I'm not sure. But either way, if you're in Spain, I'm sure you recognize those two. And Direct Action will be there for that weekend. After that, Beaverpalooza at Fermata Brewing. You can go see The Cheats, who are putting out a new album. I believe that's coming out next month. Wayward Brigade, The Scratch and Sniffs, 65 Rats. It's only $5 to see those 4 bands. All 4 of those bands really great. And that's this Saturday on the 10th in Ambridge, Pennsylvania, 6 p.m. Get yourself there. Next up, Friday, May 16th. That's next week. Hostel City Oi Council. They are bringing Wildlife, Doc Rotten, Lil Bambinos, Pink Soap, all into Philly at Nicky Lopez. Is that the name of the venue? I'm not sure, but if you know, then you know. If you're in Philly, I'm sure you'll figure it out. Doors are 7, shows at 8, $15 in advance, so do that. Otherwise, you got to pay $20 at the door. Then we're going to bounce over to the West Coast into Cupertino, California at the X Bar. This is May 17th, 7 p.m. It's $10 to get to see Last Ditch Effort, American Standard, Face Kicker, Hemmed Up, and Rail Rage. It's all ages with a 21 and older bar. That is the best of both worlds, right? Next up, Underground Sound Productions presents The Pretendants, who's a tribute to The Descendants. RF7, Toledo Panic, The Afraid, Radioactive Waste. You can see all of them tonight. This is in California, in Ventura. Go check out a couple of our pals in Toledo Panic and The Afraid. It's 8 p.m. Gigi's Cocktail Bar in Ventura. You can get your tickets there at Eventbrite. It is $10 pre-sale, $15 at the door. So I assume pre-sale, that means today, right now, before you head over there, save yourself a few bucks and spend 10 instead of 15. But either way, $3 a band, it's worth it. You got some killer bands on that lineup. Then on Friday, May 9th, which is also today in Marietta, if Ventura is not your scene and you're over in Marietta, well, you can go see Guttermouth, Das Clown, Emily and the Blackouts, Sick Sense, Taken Days, Rare Gents, all at Solaris. So go check that one out. SuckerPunchProductions.com is where you will get your tickets. Killer flyer. Then, Sunday, May 18th, this is at the Terragram Ballroom in downtown LA, kicking off punk rock bowling with Youth Brigade, who will be there. Pistol Grip, who I got to see last year at Punk Rock Bowling. They were fantastic. Knuckleheads, who I just saw at LA Punk Invasion. And I've seen Badass a couple times, and indeed, they are badass. All killer bands. Go see that show if you're going to be in downtown LA on the 18th. Then we're going to rewind back to tomorrow, Saturday, May 10th, 5 to 9 p.m. Love that. I like getting done early. I'm getting older. I get tired at night. You know, you get in the habit. Anyway, Road to Rebellion show, Noise Agents. They are playing on May 10th with Splinter, Bug Out, Shoobies, and all of this will be in LA at the Offbeat Bar on York. So go check out Noise Agents there. Then we're going to bounce to the other coast again, Wallingford, Connecticut, at Cherry Street Station. Cool venue. On Sunday, May 18th, you can go see Shaped for Battle, The Stress, The Abductors, Grem, The Welch Boys. It's 21 and older, $18 day of show, but you can do it for $13 in advance. So do $13 in advance and go see that killer lineup. Every band on there. Well, I don't know Grem, but all the other ones are great, so I'm sure Grem is too. Next up, where are we at? Oh, on May 17th, the day before, you can also see Shape for Battle, Welch Boys, Bad Terms, and DHS if you go to Lowell, Massachusetts at Thirsty First Tavern. $15 there, 21 and older. Doors are at 7:30 and the first band's at 8:30, so go check them out. Such killer bands on those lineups. On May 15th, Scruffy Murphy's in Birmingham. You will get to see Contempt, Rotunda. The QR code's on the screen there. Doors are at 7 pounds in advance, 10 the day of. Remember, I'm always a fan to get your stuff day of, save yourself a couple bucks. But either way, if you're going, you're going. Sometimes you got to wait till the last minute to see if you can even make it. May 17th, Mike McColgan and the Bomb Squad performing Do or Die in its entirety, and they'll be doing that in Reading, Pennsylvania. Doors are at 1. It's an all-ages show. I don't know who else is performing there, but if you're in Reading and you want to see it, I recommend it. I got to see him do it back in Houston in December, and I'm going to be seeing him do it at Punk Rock Bowling. It's worth it. Definitely check it out. ReverbConcerts.com is where you'll get more details as well, or you can just go follow Street Dogs Official because I don't think Mike McColgan and the Bomb Squad have one. Anyway, Hans Gruber and the Diehards wrapping up their tour. Nothing today on the 9th. That's surprising. Maybe they'll have something. I don't know. But tomorrow on the 10th, they'll be at Reggie's in Chicago. On the 12th, they'll be in Milwaukee at X-Ray Arcade. And then on the 13th, they'll be in St. Louis at Galleria 6 Cinemas. Check them out. They are for sure worth it. I assume that they are still with Escape from the Zoo. It looks like it. Yeah. Oh, Appleton, Wisconsin, it looks like. Even though it's not on the flyer on May 9th, they'll be in Appleton, Wisconsin for Scapleton 25. So check that out at Appleton Beer Factory. What do we got left? Oh, we got a few more still. X-Rated Badass. Anybody else on there? I don't know how to read that. Rotor? Something? Anyway, they'll be playing this show in Riverside, California. Sin Remedio as well. It's an all-ages show. It's Saturday, May 10th, 6 p.m., $5, and all proceeds going to Time for Change Foundation. So there you go. We got a show for Conservative Military Image with Hardside, Inner Self, Born Savage, Open World. This is in San Antonio, Texas at Paper Tiger. It's all ages, 7 p.m. on Sunday, May 25th. If you're going to be in San Antonio instead of punk rock bowling, there you go. We've got Unrivaled, Wilder, City Riot with a handful of shows. This one's going to be on Friday, May 16th at Monkey's Music Club in Hamburg, Germany. Then on the 17th, Oi at the Pub with also City Riot, Razorblade, Unrivaled, Malad, Wilder, and Out of Order out of Canada. All of those bands playing together, and I think that one's in Apeldoorn. And then in Tilburg, on the 18th, you can see Out of Order, Wilder, and Unrivaled. Killer bands, killer lineups. Hopefully you're somewhere where you can see some of those in Europe. And I'm going to wrap this up with Haywire. They have started, as of last week, their tour that looks like it's going all the way out to August 2nd. They are going to be busy. Like the 1 week I might not be able to make it. They're in Salt Lake on July 2nd. Tonight they'll be in Albany at Empire Live, Albany, New York. This is a U.S. tour, by the way. They'll be in New Kensington, PA tomorrow on the 11th, Cleveland, then Cincinnati on the 12th, Peoria on the 14th. You can see the rest of the flyer or go to Haywire 617. I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but I am sure they're coming to a town near you, so make sure that you see them. They've got their new split out. They'll have certain versions of that available. That's going to wrap it up this week for Live and Wired. Thank you for tuning in. If you've got any flyers you'd like us to post, please send them over and we will get them on Live and Wired. Thank you for checking us out, and we'll catch you next time.